Your bad habits don't just make you feel shame and guilt, they destroy your life. You clicked on this video because you know you have bad habits you want to get rid of, and it's actually easier than you think. With these 4 steps to breaking any bad habit, you can change your life in just 30 days. I have 1 step for each week during the next month, and at the end, your life will be as beautiful as this dude's face. But first, what are bad habits? You can label a bad habit as a repeated behavior that has negative consequences to a person's health, mental well-being, productivity, relationships, or overall quality of life. The worst part about this is that they are often unconscious and done pretty much automatically, making them difficult to break. Luckily you, my friend, have acknowledged this since you are watching this video. So you're already ahead of 99% of people. Some examples of bad habits could be unhealthy eating, excessive screen time, procrastination, overspending, the hub, video games, and stuff like that. Now enough talking, let's get started. With step 1. Make it invisible. Imagine you get back from work, you get into your comfy clothes, and you go to play video games, except your TV is not there. Habits are initiated by cues. Cues are either visual or auditory signals that trigger us to do a certain action. Seeing a candy bar triggers the habit of snacking on sweets, or hearing a phone notification triggers the habit of checking your phone, which leads you to scrolling for the next half an hour. By removing these cues, you interrupt the habit loop, making it so much easier to resist these urges. You don't think about eating something bad until you see that candy bar on your counter. You get my point? So, you're addicted to video games? Unplug your TV, hide the controller, and if that's not enough, put the TV in a closet where you can't even see it. The same practice applies to any bad habit you have. Too much junk food? Get the candy bars out of the house. And now that the negative cue, the candy bars, are out of the game, you can replace it with a positive one, like get fruits and healthy snacks to replace it. Humans are inherently visual creatures, and our behavior is usually driven by what we see around us. So, when the visual or other sensory cue is removed, the trigger for the habit gets weakened, making it less likely to occur. And over time, the lack of reinforcement makes the habit fade away. So, the first week's task is to remove the cues for your bad habits. Great, let's move on. Step 2. Make it unattractive. This approach focuses more on your mindset and how you perceive the habit. We'll reframe your mind to make the habit unattractive and highlight its negative aspects, which obviously makes your motivation for doing it vanish. Habits are triggered with cues and driven with cravings. If you change how you perceive a habit, the craving weakens and the habit becomes less satisfying. For example, if you associate eating junk food with getting fat and health issues, and being less liked by females, you suddenly don't want to do that mukbang feast you were dreaming of all day. Or if you associate procrastination as wasted potential to become the greatest man to walk the earth rather than a break, you're gonna get back to doing stuff you're supposed to do. Focus on the negatives. If you're tempted to eat ice cream and watch Netflix all day, think about the feeling after all that sugar and laying in your couch doing nothing. The feeling of being sluggish and unhealthy. You don't want that, do you? Picture this. You're almost achieving every goal you have, and there's one thing stopping you: the bad habits. If you procrastinate a lot, picture how much you would achieve if you didn't waste a single second ever. Change your language. No mitä helvettiä se auttaa? Bro, not like that. Adjust how you view things. Man, I love soda so much. Or, honestly, soda is just sugary water with a bunch of chemicals I can't even pronounce. Humans are motivated by both rewards and punishments, and by reframing the habit to highlight the negatives and making it feel like a punishment instead of a reward, you start to associate it with pain rather than pleasure. Over time, this decreases the craving and weakens the habit. It's week 2 now, you have removed the cues and you change your mindset. Wow, you're making progress so fast. But what's next? Step 3. Make it difficult. Let's introduce friction. Increased friction means less likely to perform said task. Basically, it means increasing the amount of steps it takes to complete the habit. Let's use overspending as an example. So you're shopping every day, shit's getting out of hand, you're losing all your money, females don't like you anymore because you're broke and stupid. What you can do is you can get rid of all the shopping apps you have, delete them all, get your money in cash so you can't shop online and you actually see the money leaving your wallet, and make an automatic transfer to a savings account so you don't even have money to spend. Humans like easy. If spending money is easy, we tend to spend money. If it's difficult, we don't bother. It's simple, really. Habits are performed without much thought because they're easy and accessible. If you introduce obstacles or increase the effort required to do a bad habit, it's less likely to occur. When something requires more effort, your brain naturally seeks out easier alternatives. By making bad habits inconvenient, you force yourself to pause and reconsider the action. This disrupts the autopilot mode the habits rely on and makes it easier to resist. Alright my friend, we have made it to week 3 and you have removed the cues, changed how you look at things and made bad habits more difficult. Amazing. Just one more step and your war is won. Step 4. Make it unsatisfying. If something you do feels good, what do you think after? Again, if something you do feels bad, what do you think after? What was that? You never want to do it again. Exactly. Ain't this so simple? So, if a behavior feels good, you're likely to repeat it. Conversely, if it feels bad, you'll avoid it. Bad habits persist because they provide some kind of immediate gratification or perceived benefit like comfort, pleasure, or distraction. To break the habit, you need to flip the script. I said, to break the habit, you need to flip the script. How to do that? Glad you asked. Introduce accountability systems. Share your goals with someone you trust and create consequences for failing. Give $20 to your girlfriend or whatever if you eat junk food again. Shift how you perceive the habit by focusing on its negative effects. For procrastination, focus on the stress and guilt it causes when deadlines pile up, rather than the temporary relief of watching TikTok and Instagram and all the other stuff you watch online. I know all of it. Trust me. Create social consequences. If you have 5 friends who lose 10 pounds in a week and you're the only one who doesn't, you're gonna lose the weight, at least due to embarrassment. Track failures. Track all the times you are lazy and eating ice cream on your couch, doing absolutely nothing with your life. Because when you see all the times you fail, you realize how much better you could be. Thank you. No problem. When a habit feels unsatisfying, it interrupts the brain's reward loop, which is the foundation of any habit. Over time, the brain stops associating these bad habits with pleasure and more with dissatisfaction. Well, now it's week 4. There's no more cues, your mind is reshaped, there's increased friction, and the bad habits have become unsatisfying. You have no desire to eat junk food anymore or procrastinate. You did it, my friend.